I'm all right, man. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
I
How
see
you
you got the
feeling?
kufi with the tassel on it. You're not playing today.
Of course. I mean, this is every day. This ain't, this ain't a fashion statement. You know what I'm saying? This is every day. Sometimes it's just a little too hot for them, but you got the holes in them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the guard that made them for me. Oh man, I feel so bad. By the end of the joint, shout him out because he makes them. He makes really good ones by hand. These are all done by hand. Usually, I get them sent from my friends that's still in prison. They usually still make them for me and send them home and stuff. So
No, no,
yeah,
no.
but this
That's
the
what I was
guard.
going to
This
say.
the
That looks like somebody made that in prison. Like that looks
yeah.
like an official,
Yeah.
serious, made in prison
Yeah.
kufi right there.
No, it's not a kufi. It's not a kufi.
What
It's
is
not
it?
a kufi. That's the separation between it's a crown. It's
Oh,
a
it's a
crown,
crown.
and each
Okay.
part of the crown represents something, right? So it's three parts: it's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So knowledge, wisdom, and this is understanding. And it's a 360. When I walk, it's spin. That's a 360.
Ah,
See,
okay.
it's juice
So
to it. Face to the gods.
all this time, I had always thought that they were kufis. Like the first person
No.
I had ever seen with that was Rakim.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not a kufi. It's not a kufi. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, not
No,
no
listen.
disrespect to kufis, but you know.
You learn something new every single day. So walk me through that one more time so that when I see it, I know. It's
So
knowledge, wisdom, and understanding?
yeah, so the head part, right, is knowledge, right? It's on you, right? Now this long part is the wisdom, and this is the understanding. You know what I mean? And when you move, it spins in a 360.
It's
You know
360-degree revolve.
Yeah, so if you got knowledge, wisdom, understanding, you know what I'm saying, you got to deal with equality. You know what I'm saying? It's a 360 in everything you do.
Okay, now let's start here because I mean you've been in this business. This is a Music Monday. You've been in this business how many years?
In the business, oh man, see, it's a little weird when you ask that question because you know back then it was a different process to actually get into the music business. You know what I mean? So I actually was, I would say right now, easy, maybe 30 years, man.
I'm thinking 32. I'm thinking 32 because you
like
started out so young.
Yeah. You know, like, cause it was like before I actually came out, I was still kind of in the industry, cause you know, hanging with Kane and different people like that. I was in the mix, you know what I'm saying, before I actually came out. You know what I mean? So I was kind of already in the industry, sort of kind of fake like, you know what I'm saying, until I came out with my own music. So yeah, so I say about 30.
So let's start here. When did you because did you have knowledge of self when you first came out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was studying. I mean, it's always a continuous study. Like some people are parakeets, right? Some people get the lessons and just read off the lessons and recite them, right? But that's one thing, you know what I'm saying? So you always adding on, you know what I'm saying? So it's never over. It's always a complete one from knowledge to born and then right back to knowledge all over again in each situation, you know what I'm saying? But what happened with me through the industry and through things like that, that no longer became my priority. You know what I'm saying? Other things took, so I lost my way. You know what I'm saying? And fortunately, when I went to prison, I was embraced in that because, you know, they already knew my name is Shyheim. I was born Shyheim. I you know what I'm saying? I didn't make up the name. I didn't study and go, okay, this is the name I'm picking for myself. I never picked my name. I didn't pick the rugged child. These are names that was given to me. You know what I'm saying? So my mom's named me Shyheim, and there was a few older guards from Staten Island named Shyheim. So I think, you know, I will only like to believe that's where she got it, because back when I was born, that was, you know, that's what it was.
Now let's start from the beginning. Do you remember the first time you ever touched a mic or wrote a rhyme on a piece of paper? What was that experience like?
Touching a mic, period, or period. Like on the stage? Or you mean ever? All right, the first time I ever went to the studio, because we used to rhyme on the corners and stuff like that, and I met Mercury from the Force MDs. Mercury from the Force MDs. Well, no, I'm lying. Not lying. I was just speeding up. I had met a guy by the name of Victor James first. Victor James was like a Staten Island, like, manager, right? You know what I'm saying? He was one of them. He was managing everything, you know. So at first I started with him, you know what I'm saying? But my mom knew Mercury from the Force MDs. So when we seen Mercury, she's like, yo, hear my son. And I wrote. So from then on, Mercury would book Zulu Nation, He would book Granddaddy IU, Naughty by Nature. So I would be the opening act for these groups. So I used to chill with Tretch, Vinny, all them KG. They used to invite me to their shows like before I even was anybody, because Merc gave me that opportunity. Mercury gave me that opportunity, and that was it. And I was on my way from there, man. So I always got to credit Mercury from the Force MDs, because it would be nothing. It would be no Staten Island. I mean, we all added on, but they the original. They the original Staten Island. People didn't even know nothing about us. You know, and it's sad that people don't know the history of the Force MDs, man. I was a little kid, right? I was a little kid, and I remember Jesse D used to do Michael Jackson impressions on the ferry. And they were sing when they that's what got me inspired. So I seen that and I was like, yo, that's what I want to do. So at the same time, it wasn't many of me. You know what I'm saying? You had me that was trying to like into wanting to rhyme Ninth Prince, Killer Army. That's Wizard's little brother, and that's how I got introduced to Rakim and all of them, was through Ninth Prince. In second grade, we was friends. So I was always I was around, you know what I mean? But as I started to get better and people started to take notice in my talent, they began to work with me more. So RNS, my producer by RNS, lived in my project building. He's responsible for UMC's all their #1 hits that they had. A lot of people forget UMC's had #1 hits. They added on to the Staten Island thing too before me. You know what I'm saying? So the UMC's, RNS, it was producing them. You know, he produced King Just. He produced Grave Diggers. He was influential in a lot of that sound that people don't know, even from the inspiring the sound. You know what I'm saying? Like RNS is really responsible on low key. You know what I'm saying? On the low, but he is. You know, I got to give him his credit. So at that time, then once I started to do these shows, they was like, oh, RNS started giving me beats. Rakim's giving me beats. Now at the time, then came Rakim, Oh We Love You, Rakim. So I was fortunate and blessed. He used to take me with him to the labels, Tommy Boy and stuff. So I used to be in there as a little kid, just learning. So you know what I'm saying? It was school for me. And I think that's what doesn't happen anymore with artists, whether young or old. They don't go through the process of becoming an artist. Now it's just like, yo, you can go in your room, record something and throw it out tonight, and everybody can hear it tonight.
Yeah, but 100%. Shout out to Cool Kim from the UMCs and my man Lounge Low. One of my favorite.
Yeah, Peace and Lounge.
That is on my iPad. I mean, on my iTunes is One to Grow On.
Classic.
UMCs is a new way of
Come on, man. Come on. But they was a representation of. See, this is one thing that gets me, right. Sometimes people, you got to remind them, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't be where I'm at and even get a platform as big as yours to get here and not mention everybody that paved the way for me. You know what I'm saying? Which is all these guys that's still out there, right? That's still some of them, you know, Victor James, he's managing, he's still doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, the only one, Merc is not here, you know what I'm saying? So I got to tell the story how it happened. It's not for Hollywood. It's not for no movies and nothing. I'm not changing that. I'm just telling the truth. And if you tell the truth, people know the truth. So if you don't tell the truth and they know the truth, what does that say? It's just like, just tell the truth.
It's funny because people, and I want to, you know, I never got a chance to talk about it. I want to just touch on this for a second, people. Force MDs were from, first they were the Force MC.
see, Dr. Rock, you taking it back.
I was a kid. We're going way back, okay? They would come to Harlem and go to Harlem World. They would come to the Bronx and go to 271. Now, this is a hell of a hike from Staten Island to the city. I used to live in Staten Island on Henderson Avenue. I had a car, so I can only, it was hard for me on Henderson Avenue to get to New York with a car. So I can only imagine how you do it. You gotta go to the ferry, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. They would come and I would have to say they were one of the best harmonizing groups ever. And I'll even put that up to actual singing groups. Delphonics and shit like that. If you had put them together at the same time, they could have gone toe to toe with Temptations, Delphonics, anybody. They were that good. But they were the only thing that we knew from Staten Island.
Yeah.
And that is that. So for you to give Mercury and the Force MDs the credit that they deserve is big, because the first memories of Staten Island for me were them. So now at this time when they're booking you, I mean when he's booking Naughty and all this, how old are you when you're going through all this? When Rakim is taking you to Tommy Boy and all that?
6th grade, 5th grade, 10, 11
10?
years old. Yeah, 5th grade, 6th grade. I mean, I signed the record contract. I was out with an album in 9th grade. I never even made it to, no, I was 9th grade, summer 9th grade, high school. But yeah, I was already in junior high school. I was recording my album because I had to go through the court system. So I had my record contract early, you know what I'm saying? But you have to go through the process of the Supreme Court for them to say, because, you know, Gary Coleman got jerked by his money, Emmanuel Lewis. So it's a law that a minor must go through courts to even do a contract. So that slowed up my release process. But people from Staten Island, they know I've had, if not the biggest record deal coming out of Staten Island as a no name artist without Wu-Tang wasn't Wu-Tang yet. You know what I'm saying?
No.
To get this type of deal. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. And but I again I got to credit to the forefathers before me.
Now you're 10 doing this. Who's watching you? Who? Where's your parents, bro? Like this is, you're 10. I can't even imagine what a 10-year-old would be doing with grown-ass men. Where are your parents and stuff?
My dad was incarcerated and my mother struggled with crack cocaine.
Okay. So you're basically looking out for yourself.
Yeah, I've learned. That's how I learned things in life, through trial and error. And it was like, it was a gift and a curse too, though, because it was like I had the freedom to be out there, to even be in these mixes, you know what I'm saying? But if I had a struck, like some of my friends, they had mom and dad home. They couldn't go out to the Fever and be outside the Fever nightclub and getting and going up in there and stuff like that and rapping it, for they couldn't do that. So they was living through me. And at that time, they really probably thought I was telling stories. Like, oh, I was just with Naughty by Nature. I went to a show with them. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? But it was really going down. But then when my album came out, they was like, oh, it's really real.
Okay, so now you're that young guy. You're out there in the mix. Shout to G to K. I see you, bro. No one older is saying this young kid shouldn't be here, or they just kind of just letting you go. No impunity. No impunity. No nothing. Just boom. Just go and do your thing.
No, I can't say that. That would be unfair to people who did try to pull my coat. Because there was some people who tried to pull my coat, like, yo, you know, you should do this or you should do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't say there wasn't anybody at that time. You know what I'm saying? But what happens with celebrity and finances is like, I was the breadwinner. Who really was going to tell me something? So being that I had all this freedom, which started happening, I started to make poor decisions, because even though I was smart, even though I knew I had knowledge, I knew, right? And I knew right from wrong, but I had to go through the process of wisdom. And all knowledge is, right? Knowledge is knowledge, right? But you get wisdom from knowledge, right? But you cannot move forward to an understanding unless you put what you know into activation, and then you will have a clear understanding of what things was going on. But see, I wasn't that advanced. I wasn't that up to that level. I was just in that stage. So when I was in that stage of my life, I was learning. So I'm watching, right? So I'm in the industry with everybody, you know what I'm saying? I know everybody, and everybody loves me. Oh, Shyheim, I love you, right? But then when real life happens and they go, because it's business, it's not real life. I'm looking at these people as family. I'm looking them in my eye like they love me. This is real. I'm a kid. They for me. They with me. These are my big brothers. I don't never have to worry about nothing, right? This is my mentality. But things start to happen. Real life, getting cut, you're going to jail. And then you look around, you're like, where's these people at? It never was that. But I didn't have the discernment to separate the reality from the industry. It was one to me. So a lot of the mistakes I made in my life, I was just growing up.
You're growing up in front of a bunch of people, and you're making the mistakes with nobody technically there to kind of hold your coat or kind of do what Usher's mother did with Usher, kind of hold him down or whatever.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I always say this, right? I always say this, and people that's from Staten Island, or even people that's not from Staten Island, people that been upstate with my moms, because my mom's been in prison too, Rikers Island with my moms. If my moms didn't have that sickness of drugs, she probably would be the biggest manager in the world, because she had the hustle, she had the game, and she had all of that. But it was just the sickness of them drugs, right? And I didn't understand it then, right? But now I have a different understanding at the age I'm at. I'm like, yo, my mom's died at 48. Right? I became famous with a lot of money. My mom's was 28. I'm like, damn, she kind of went through what I went through. She was learning too. She had me at 16 years old. She didn't know. She was thrown into being a mom. You know what I'm saying? So my earlier years was with my grandparents, like a lot of the other rugged childs of the world. And my grandparents died. Then it was like house to house. And it was real, man. I'm a kid. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've got on early. But before that, man, I lived in 1-bedroom apartments. Me and my mom sharing a room in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wore skip sneakers. I wore hand-me-downs, big clothes and all that. That's how I got the name Rugged Child. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you are now Shyheim the Rugged Child. How old are you when that contract is out? When you signed the contract and now you're coming out with that record? Because I remember playing that. I was one of the main people playing that record on Hot 97.
Yeah.
How old were you at the time?
When the record came out, when the record actually came out, I was 15. But recording all of that, I was like between 13 up to that, yeah.
Okay, so you're 15 now. You're 15 now with a legitimate hit record in the street. You're a young shorty. We love you because you're a young kid spitting. I'm sure there's young girls that love you, all of that. How are you looking at this through the eyes of a 15-year-old? What's going on in your mind? How are you absorbing all of this?
You know, it's crazy because I think about this all the time, right? And how I live my life today, right? I wasn't enjoying the moment. I missed the moment. Speeding. I was so focused. I was.
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. This is an ill thing. Hit me back. I can't hear you. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, there we go. No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Hey, hop out and then come back. Yeah, hop out and come back. What a hell of a fucking story, man. Like, whoo. Like, I mean, I'm looking at it as the guy who is playing this young kid's record, right? And I know he's young, you know, like, you know, at that time, there was no Wu-Tang. There's no Wu-Tang. This is pre-Wu-Tang. So he's actually cracking the door open. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. Somebody called in, and please, if you're watching this, please don't call me right now. Please.
Somebody called. So here you are, young kid. This is pre-Wu-Tang. You like the man now. You are now the Staten Island representative. Number one, what's going through your head? How are you dealing with women? And are you dealing with jealousy? And what are you, as a 15-year-old, what are you dealing with?
I would like to believe, right, that I was sharing. I would like to believe that my success with my friends, with my family, and with everyone, I shared it with them. It wasn't a selfish thing. So I was looking at it like we was all on. You know what I'm saying? I got my first check. We all went to Fulton Street and got sneakers and clothes. When I went to the mall, we all went to the mall. You know what I'm saying? That's who I was. I was the only one that really had it. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else didn't have it. Everybody's struggling. We from the project. I'm a Stapleton project kid. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 181 Gordon Street, AD. That's where I grew up at. You know what I mean? So I didn't think. I was just, like I was saying, I was trying before we got disconnected. It was that for so long I was just living, right? But missing out on the good stuff. That's like if you walking down the block so fast, you don't get to see the lawns. You don't even get to see the dog taking the shit right there. You miss the moment, focusing on the future too much or dwelling on the past too much. So now I don't do that. I just live each day. Like, today's been a good day for me. I don't know what tomorrow is store, but I'm not thinking about yesterday anymore.
Now, You said you were missing everything, but you had to see some of the trappings of what it was to be Shyheim the rugged child. The women, what was that like at 15 years old? Here's the thing: I know what it's like to be 25 years old and killing it and what the women are like. But I don't know. I have no understanding of what it's like to basically be a teenager and have the women coming at you. How did you deal with it? What was the situation?
I mean, if we would go about it today, a lot of women would be in jail. You know what I mean? I didn't deal with chicks my age. I was on the road. I was 14 with 22-year-old women. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it was. They would be in jail probably right now. You know what I'm saying? But it was a different time. You ain't have no internet. You ain't have nothing. You be on them roads. Like, these dudes got it easy, man. It was sometimes we didn't even have cell phones, man, on them tours. You had the whole, you had a map. We didn't have no GPS. We had to pull out a map and say which way we going to the city. It was a different hit.
Now you're young. You're young. Another thing I'm thinking about is jealousy, envy, and your friends. What was that about?
All of that, right? At the time, I couldn't see it, right? And it's one thing my mother used to always, me and my mother used to go through. It's one of the memories that I have of my mother, right? She used to always tell me, you don't got no fucking friends. And I used to be like, yes, I do, Mom. I'm getting arguments. You born in this world alone, you're going to die in this world. You know what I'm saying? Focus, stay focused, go. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. Go chase your acting career, go. Right? But I couldn't let go. Nothing would let me leave the mentality. You know what I'm saying? I was just so dedicated and so loyal to everything that wasn't loyal or dedicated to me. So now it's just a reverse thing. I just don't choose to engage with a lot. You know what I'm saying? I like to have real relationships with people. I don't welcome any half stepping because I'm so in tune that even when people think I don't know, I know. You know what I'm saying? I see it. I'm aware. I'm in the present.
You stay out the way. One day I was talking to Shy, and I was like, "Yo, my man, you staying out the way." He's like, "Yo, I'm way out the way. If it don't have nothing to do with my family, I'm way out the way. I'm not rocking with that." When did you realize that your friends really weren't your friends, as your mother said?
When I was facing 30 years in prison, and nobody was showing up to court, but my aunt and an old girlfriend I used to date at that time before, you know, all they left too. But before all of that, that's when it started to make sense. And I said, yo, if they love me, why they ain't showing up? Like, no lawyer, no nothing. I mean, I fought for my life. You know what I'm saying? Once again. So when I went through prison and I got around people that may never get another shot at freedom, I started to realize who I was again. I started to say, oh, I'm different. Because in the big pond of everybody, I'm still stand out. So I said, oh, you know, it started to make sense. And then it started to replay everything in my life as I was writing my autobiography. I'm crying in that cell. You're seeing it. And then when you look back on all the signs are there. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how old are you when you go into prison? How old?
The first time or the second time?
First, whatever the longest stretch was.
You froze up.
Okay, there you go. How long? First time. How old?
How old was I? Like 20, 22, 21, 22,
so
23.
You're basically a young man.
Yeah.
You go in there. Now this is new for you. This is probably your first time. What are you thinking going in there as Shyheim, and what happened once you got in there? Walking through the door, what are you expecting? And then what happened?
I expected to be cut 30 more times. You know what I'm saying? I expected that. You know what I'm saying? I knew what I was up against at that time. I was up against a lot. Niggas in New York know what it was and what it is. You know what I'm saying? What it was. But, I mean, we outgrew these things. But back in the days, them late 90s, it was a terrible time. A lot was going on. A lot of new things was being introduced into the city. And it was a little turmoil. And, yeah. So I was thinking, yo, it's me. I got to go all out. Bad enough, it's only a couple of Staten Island dudes anywhere you go. So you know what I'm saying? I had to stick together. But if you would have told me then that I wasn't in prison, I wouldn't have believed you. I thought I was in prison. I went to the mediums. They sent me to them little cookie cutters. I was in Franklin, Adirondack, what other spot? What other? Well, a few of them. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that was prison. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I got max A time and I went to real jail. And I don't take nothing from no other rappers that was in programs and all that APPU thing that they all go in, you know what I'm saying? But I walked the halls. I was in GP. I was in the
Right. So now you went to real prison and you weren't in PC or anything. You walk in there, what are you thinking? What's going through your head and what actually happened?
Well, before that, like when I was in Rikers Island and I was on in Manhattan House Detention Center, the Tombs, I was in a program called GPE. So it's like General Population Escort. Like everywhere you go, there has to be officers that take you, right? So I was in one of those programs there, but you really don't have no control over it if they could say it's a security risk. So when I got to Clinton, Maine Correctional, and at first they tried to put me in that unit. But the problem that was happening was there was people from my neighborhood there looking for me. Where's he at? Where's he at? So they like, yo, they got him in there. So it's like, I got to get out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? So then the sergeant came to me. I said, yo, I don't want to be in here. And he said, well, sign these papers. Anything that happens to you is on you, right? I said, yeah, I signed the papers. Next morning, pack up. So it's just how life happens, right? And that's why it's always good to be the same because you don't have to switch up. So it's just, I've ran into mad people. I mean, I remember being so cold. It's so cold there, and I didn't have nothing. I didn't even have a hat yet because when you get transferred, you can't go with nothing but your body. So I'm near freezing cold. I go to the yard and Ishmael from our projects from Stapleton, he was there, and he was just like, and it showed me that love, man. It felt so good to hug somebody in that you know. Because other than that, you really in there by yourself. I don't care who you cool with. You got one number. You got one ID number, and that's who you came in and who you're gonna leave with if you leave. Yeah. So,
now, you do that. You go through your time and you get out. How does this all change you, your mentality, and where you're at as you're walking out the door? The day that you walk out of the door to leave that prison, what's going through your mind?
I was scared. I lived in a
leaving. You were scared. Why was you scared leaving?
Because I got so conditioned to the environment that I was in, you know. And now it was like everything that I sat there and waited for all them years, planning, yo, when I get out, it was like, whoop, game time now. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know really what was the way, but what I did know was that I wasn't the same person. I knew I changed. And when I was in there and I was changing, I was telling my people, yo, I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm not thinking the same. I don't know what's up. Oh, that's just jail talk. Oh, you all go through it. Well, you'll be back to I'm like, no, it just the light bulb just came on and things are making sense and everything is presented before my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I was scared and I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know if music was a thing for me because that wasn't my plan. My plan was to come home and I had took a custodial maintenance. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start a custodial maintenance business. And you know, I'm gonna work my way up and eventually get back in the studio and stuff. But COVID happened. So it just put me still. And then it was just more time to think. And then I said to myself, prison is just the micro of out here is the macro. So the same things that I needed to do to survive with my livelihood in prison around the most dangerous people is the same things that I apply when I'm out here in these streets.
Okay, well, hold on. Explain that because that's a hell of a statement. Explain it. Walk us through it. For some of you, because you got to remember, most people on this live have not gone to prison, have not been around some of the most dangerous individuals in the United States, matter of fact, the world. So explain that to us. So we
for one, a respecting big. Little things that we take as, oh, that ain't nothing, is big disrespect. If me and you talking right here face to face, you see it all the time. A person will come from left way and cut right between us. We at a party, cut right between us. For me, I get startled, I jump back because that could have been a cut, that could have been a stab. So I'm washing hands and everything. That's why I don't do well in crowds. I can't do it. I try to go to, I'm in the cut because I got to play the back because this was my life for so long. It wasn't being a rapper. None of that was my reality no more. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even remember when I got out. They start calling me Shyheim again. I said, oh shit, that is me, because I was called Franklin for so long. I got used to just being called Franklin.
And so disrespect in jail, any form of disrespect, no matter how small, can be met with extreme violence.
It has to be. It has to be. Something as small as, but it teaches you things, right? Something as small as this, right? If, and people do it all the time, right? They count ghosts, right? So I got something that you want. Yo, Shy, let me get a pack of cigarettes. It's only a pack of cigarettes. What's the big deal? All right, 1 for 2. I'll give you the cigarette. When the store come in 2 weeks, I want 2 back. Fine. Now, you banking on your mother sending that money order. She don't send it. I want my shit. That's not my responsibility. So it taught me by watching. I said, oh, this dude got stabbed because I said, I'm not doing that. All right, I know to move that. And if I do that, don't count no ghosts. Make sure I got it in my account so I'm never in a position. You know what I'm saying? I really not the gang stuff, because it's like the streets, right? So you got a big yard, everybody kicking it. You got dudes that's just chilling out, getting high, wasting their time, just chilling out on some block stuff. Then you got those that don't stay in one jail because they in and out of different troubles and fights, and then so they all over the place. And then you got those that are focused on making themselves better, going to school and trying to get to better facilities to get away from that. And when I got there, I was presented pretty much because they already knew that I was 5% Nation Guards of Earth. And they was like, yo, listen, bro, you represent us too. So this is what it's hitting for. Like, we with you, we going all the way to whatever, whoever. But here's the thing. You got to move this way. You can do your jail time like this, or you can do your jail time like that. And they told me straight up, boy, you got 7 to 14 years. If you don't do it like that, you will do 14. You do it like that, you could be out in 6.
Okay, so hold on. You could do it like this, you could do it like that. Explain it to us.
You can do it. You could be the dude that's, I'm a parallel. I'm gonna make the parable to the street, right? You could be the dude in front of the liquor store on the street, right? Or you could be the dude that's working, getting up every day in the morning, going to work, right? So you breeze past all the bullshit. You don't even hear what's going on because you're so focused on bettering yourself. And that's the decision that I made, and it worked, because it worked for me.
So you can stay out of the drugs, the gangs, the gambling, the bullshit. You just got to go over here and do your thing. When that happens, do people just leave you alone? Do they say, okay, this guy is about this, we leaving him alone, we not even messing with him?
Not really, but you still gotta abide by those rules. You still gotta be a stand-up individual, because just because you just staying out the way don't mean nothing. You staying out the way, but you still, you know what I'm saying, getting high, or you still doing that. You can't do none of that. You gotta change your life completely. And the sad thing about changing your life is that it doesn't make everything right, right? So I knew that in my mind. I knew me coming back home, right? I knew I moved on. I knew I grew, but everybody didn't grow. You know what I'm saying? I'm responsible for life, however it happened, whatever. There's things that I've done in my past, you know what I'm saying, that just because I grew up now don't mean these people grew up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you just have to be very careful of where you at. And that's like this, right? I would have loved, they had the remember I would have loved to do the show. I was telling you that, we was gonna do the Staten Island show or whatever. But unfortunately, through the contractual reasons, we wasn't able. But me, you little vicious, we was coming to tear down.
You know something? I'm gonna tell you something, because Brock called me and I said, yo, Shaw could have just called me. I would have came out there and did this shit for free. I don't care. Like, but Brock said something. He said, listen, let me explain something to you. Shyheim is about his money, bro. He is really about his money. I said, yo, I came out there and did this shit for free. He said, nah, man, he don't get down like that. He is about his money. He's serious about his shit. And it just makes perfect sense now based on everything you've been through. What would you say the most iconic moment that you've had as a rapper was?
Rapper, not actor, because I had different. I'm an actor too. You know what I mean? Right. As a rapper, the most iconic time, I think meeting Big Daddy Kane. I think nothing tops that for me. Nothing. And then to have him school me and teach me about publishing. Never sell your publishing. I don't care what you do. And I never did that. So it's things like that he taught me that allows me to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Were you on the stage? Were you on the stage with him and Pac that night?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about that, because that song, that's where Brooklyn at. Where Brooklyn at? Where, like, that freestyle is gonna ring forever. Walk us through that night.
I was on tour. I was on a Budweiser Superfest tour with Big Daddy Kane. It was, I think, Laverne, MC Light. Oh man, it was so many years ago, but it was a tour. So I was fortunate and I was blessed that when Kane was going on tour, Virgin was like, "Yo, what's up? Let him go. Can he go?" And Kane was like, "Yo, bet." And he was like, "All right, well, we paying for his tour, his hotel and everything." And I just rolled with him state to state. You know what I'm saying? I was doing stadiums when I didn't even have a record. You know what I'm saying? And that was the last one, if not the last stop, or one of the last stops on the tour. And we came to New York City. So when we came to New York City, Kane invited Pac and Big. I don't know. I'm just chilling with Kane. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's showing up. You know how it is. Yo, what's up? What's up? Love, love, everything good. And when it came time, we would always freestyle during the set. So I would come out kicking a freestyle anyway. But this particular night, since we was in New York, other people came out during that part of the show. And Mr. C, what I just found out the other day, I didn't know. I knew he recorded it, but I didn't know that he then made it into a vinyl. I never knew that. So when I was doing the interview and they was like, "It's a record," I was like, "It's not a record. Who made it a record?" Then C came on my C. It was crazy because Mr. C came in my on my chat and said, "Yo, bro, I made it a record." And I was like, "Wow, I never knew how it became a record. I was like a freestyle."
Shy, that audio is easily one of the most important pieces of East Coast history ever. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Those are anytime you're ready. Dude, I got 7 Mac 11s. About like that was just a very important moment in hip hop. Do you remember standing there when it was happening? Do you remember what was happening as it was going on?
Yeah, I'll never forget it. That was the biggest stage I ever been on. You know what I mean? I'll never forget it, and it was a big deal, and they loved me. That was even better when you hear the crowd and you listen to it back. You're like, "Oh, wait a minute, did I hear more screams than Pac and Big? Maybe just a little bit, but not saying I'm better than them or anything." But
now you were young.
I was a cute kid.
Young, so
I was a cute kid.
You.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I mean?
You're sitting there and you see them. You see this all happening in real time, and you just saying what you obviously you don't know there's going to be hip hop history, but you were friends with Pac and you were friends with Big, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you have relationships with them that nobody had. You have their phone number, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
People didn't even believe that, did they?
Nah. They didn't.
They like, fuck out of here. You ain't got Pac number. Fuck out of here. You ain't got Big number.
Yeah.
Because this is a Music Monday, and I wanted to go through the whole process because this is what I brought you on for is to let anybody who has a young child in the music business know what the journey can be like. What is the one thing that you would have done as an older Shyheim, a grown man, if you could have changed one thing about how everything happened when you were young as a rapper, what would you change?
I would change the fact that I took things on face value. I don't no longer do that. You got to show me the evidence. If you say you love me, show me. If you riding with me, show me. You can tell me till your face is blue. I'm not going to believe you. I don't believe you because my life showed me that happened. So I got abandonment issues like a motherfucker. But, so I don't even allow that to be. I'm always like this from the gate. All right, well, it's coming. I'm just waiting for it to come, nigga. You're going to do it. I'm just waiting for you to do it because that's just how I think. Because my history has led me to believe that. And it was the ups and downs too. So I get treated a certain way, right? All right. When I got out of prison, right? My phone didn't ring that much. Because I'm a nigga getting out of prison that needs something. So it's a lot of people that didn't offer. There's people that offered their service like, "Yo, Shy got a beat. Yo, Shy, you come over, record in my studio. Anything on the free." You know what I'm saying? There's very few people that say, "You know what? All right, Shy, boom, here's a couple of dollars so you ain't got to get back on that block and sell that dope no more to try to get back. Here's a couple of dollars to invest in you. Keep going, bro. We see you." You know what I'm saying? It was those people. You know what I mean? Word. Because other than that, I showed you my plan was my plan. That wasn't really And now it's changing. People starting calling me, asking me for favor, and I'm like, yo, you want me to get on your album for free, right? You want me to come do this for free, but I'm the same dude that was facing 30 years. You didn't send a bar sold. Like, how are you asking? How do you feel comfortable asking me for anything?
That's the game.
And no, listen, and I respect you because I'm like, yo, you know what? It's percentages of love. That's my thing. I'm not saying they didn't love me, but they didn't love me enough. They might have loved me 20%. They might have loved me 40%. But then as I started to evolve, I started to go, oh, snap, you know what? It's the relationships that I had with these people. So the chicks that I was dealing with, what were they? Chicks that we hung out and had parties. You know what I'm saying? What did I really think was going to happen? I'll go to jail? No, they at the next party. That's like the guy that's in my inbox saying that I'm the GOAT is in Lil Wayne's and is all everybody else and saying they the GOAT. So my thing is save me with the trickery. I see it. I don't even embrace it. Just leave it, just go. Like, don't try to trick me. If you're not going to be 100 with me all the way, I don't want to be on your album. I don't want to be in your movies. I don't want to be anything if I got to look at you and possibly risk my life.
Right.
Trying to get something for somebody that took something from me. So would I let my child do it? Because, right, I think it's a different business now. I think now, being that we do have social media and we do have like digital distribution and streaming outlets, that you can have your kid and mold them outside of your house and take them on the road and have a successful. You don't have to let them go out there and be in the wilderness. You can still hug him. You could be his manager because it's a different machine now that takes to become a celebrity. Before, you had to trust your kid going cross country with some people you didn't know.
Right. It's a completely different world. Now, when you were in jail,
prison,
when you were in prison, was that the beginning of when the Wu came out? Or was the Wu out before you went to prison?
In prison? No, I was already a rapper before when I went to prison. I ain't go to prison before.
What I'm saying is, when did the Wu come out? Because you were before that.
Yeah.
Were you locked up when the Wu came out?
No, I was a kid.
Okay, because bro, it's been so long, I can't even remember.
Yeah, I was like 13 when the Wu came out, 14 when the Wu came out, right? 15, maybe somewhere around there. But yeah, that was that. I didn't go to prison until I was 20 something. You know,
right?
For the first time.
Because I'm trying to remember, I can't remember, man. Listen, I'll be the first to tell you. Sometimes I was there just like you. I was there just like you, but sometimes I can't put the chronology together.
Yeah.
Were you at the time you came out? Were you like a Wu affiliate? Like I'm still trying to.
Well, no. That Wu affiliate thing, you know what I'm saying? It's a thing for everybody that's associated with Wu, right? But my story is different. You know what I'm saying? And not taking nothing from anybody that became Wu-Tang after the other groups that came on that signed or anything, but that wasn't my story. I came to the table. I bring stuff to the table. I'm the first one from Wu-Tang affiliate or however you want to say it, that opened the door for movies. None of them was in movies without me. None of them. RZA wasn't doing no scores. Nobody was in no movies. Me.
Yeah, you. I was just trying to. I can't, bro. I cannot off the top of my head. I cannot remember the chronology. Did I play all those records?
Yeah.
Did I work on making those records hits on High 97? Yes, but I still kind of. Yeah. I kind of forget it.
All right, here's it. Protect Your Neck was 93. On and On was 94.
Okay, cool.
So yes. But to the world, it seemed as Wu-Tang blew up and came and got their little man and put him on.
Right.
So it's like, wait, what are you talking about? People that know, like, nah, boy, you already had a shit from the beginning. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things that you don't see me at with them and stuff like that is just because I'm not Wu-Tang Clan. Right. I always had my own business. I always had my own record deals. I always had my own lawyers and accountants. But it wasn't until I did that Man Child album where I did that on Wu-Tang Records. So that's the only and besides the compilations that they had was the Wu-Tang Records and all that I participated in. But for the majority, I was on Virgin Records. You know what I'm saying? Virgin Records, New Tribe. Then it went to Wu-Tang Records, and after that, I started my own imprint and was doing independent since. Back in the early, remember I had the first online reality show back in the days, me and Brock.
What,
2000,
hold on.
2001. Internet wasn't even happening.
Hold on. Let me get in my head. You were on the Parenthood. What else did you do? Because you had a great career just doing that.
Well, it started off with "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls" TLC video. That was the first thing I was in, and from that, then I got the role of Dink in the movie Original Gangsters with Fred Williamson, Jim Brown, Pam Grier. Then from that, I went on to do The Preacher's Wife with Denzel, Whitney, and Whitney Houston. Then after that, I did In Too Deep with Omar Epps and LL Cool J.
Yep, and LL Cool J, that's one of my favorite movies.
Then after that, I did a film called On the Edge, a bunch of indie joints on Winky Spot, On the Edge, Winky Spot. You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You. Yeah, so at that time, I was just bouncing around trying to get back into that. But even with that, it's the same thing. It's either two things you're going to be. If you're going to be a worker and wait for somebody to give you a job, or you're going to create your own job. So I had to sit there and go, okay, what is Shyheim going to do? Am I going to go chase Hollywood down and say, hey, put me in your movie. Come on, give me a shot, right? Am I going to go beg these DJs, yo, because I ain't paying them nothing. Yo, play my record. Yeah, nah, they going to the bag. You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so. They going, yo, I only got 3 records I could play, bro. I got to get this bag. So if I'm not, I understand that. So I said, what is Shyheim going to do? Guess what Shyheim's going to do? Shyheim, the Rugged Child story, the play, will be in New York on Broadway, the one-man show, musical about the life and times of the Rugged Child.
I like that. So you're going to completely go away from music. You're going to go more theatrics, more movies, more things like that.
No. See, it's a hybrid because I've been blessed to have 2 careers, acting and rapping. So I'm merging them and just taking it to theater. So I still will be rapping in theater and I still will be acting, but I'm just merging them together and not going to nightclubs anymore and not going to the things that's going to...
that becomes either a television show or a movie. Same way In the Heights.
Yeah, because we're gonna film each city. You know how I go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I know
It's just giving me an opportunity to showcase myself in a different way and tell my story without having to sell my soul. Because my soul is not for sale. And since I've been home, I've been offered some real devilish things, and I had to make not devilish like, oh, do this, but more so I knew what it was about. It was like, here, you want this? And it looks good and it looks tempting, and I'm like, nah.
How because in the hip hop world and in the music world in general, they say a lot of you have to sell your soul. When you get presented with these opportunities, how do you decide whether it's worth it to do or not?
Well, the most valuable thing to me in my life is peace. That's the most thing value that I hold dear to myself is my peace, my mind, to think away. I can sit in a room by myself for hours, won't even talk to nobody. I don't have no problem doing that, being alone. I don't really have that issue. Damn, my mind just went, whoop. That happens from that's from I used to smoke PCP a lot. You know what I'm saying? I was on PCP a lot. So sometimes I could be talking and it'd be
you zone out.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, what were we just talking about?
We were talking about how to figure out whether this deal is good for you, because a lot of people say you have to sell your soul.
I know
when
that.
Presented with an opportunity that might be quote unquote selling your soul, how do you look at that? How do you say no, and how do you respond to those people?
Well, because I no longer chase those things. I no longer chase the attention. I no longer chase being in like I was like kid. I wanted to be in the mix of everything, every party, every stage, everything. I gotta be involved there. Gotta be out there. On the block. Everybody gotta see Shyheim. Yo, here I go, right? But I don't have those desires anymore. So you're not gonna get me to be down with anything saying you're gonna give me a house or a car, you're gonna give me some money and all that. That's not gonna motivate me to move, because those things can't go with me. Them things couldn't. Yo, I was in prison. It didn't even matter how much money I had in my account. I only could spend 75. The most with cigarettes, food. The most 225. I think last when I left it was like 225. The limit, they raised it. sneakers was no more than $50 to $75, and I needed somebody to do it. So it didn't matter how much I had, whether I had millions or nothing. I still was at the mercy of someone else, and I don't want to be that way. I don't want that. So it was easy for me. I thought about it. Don't get me wrong, because it could have changed my life like this, right? But then when I left, the crazy thing happened, right? As I'm walking to my ride, leaving, guess what I find? $100 bill. I said, "Oh, don't take it. It'll be provided for me." And I just kept it pushing. Like, yeah, this is what it is. I'm gonna keep it pushing because
you know, without me going deep into it, there are people who will offer you certain things that will give you the fast track to blowing up, but there's a lot that you have to pay for when you do that. And if you notice certain people, mentally they lose their mind or something, because once you made that deal, you can't go back. You can't go back.
You can't.
My final question to you is this. You're an adult now. You have children. You're doing your own thing. You have your own life, everything. What advice would you give a parent that child wants to be in music at 12, 13, 14, 15? What advice would you give them?
Learn the business, because you the same way you a parent and you must protect that kid at all costs. When you send them out to school, you send them to the store, you keep that eye on them, making sure nothing happened, he didn't get shot walking to the store. You have to be the same way with his career. You have to be on it. It can't be nobody this, because you know this business, man. Everybody's trying to get over. Everybody want to ask you for something for free, right? But want to take what they do with you and expect to get a check from somewhere else. I'm like, how do you expect to get something from me, but when you package up whatever you going, you want a check for it? So pay me. I'm not saying, yo, you got to give me $1 trillion like I would charge somebody else, but let's do business. Yo, school, you coming to Staten Island. Yo, bro, I can't give you the number you normally get, but yo, take this 5 racks, bro. Only because this is your business. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, you got love for me, but yo, let's do a business. Even if it's dollar deal. Yo, bro, I ain't got much, but here's $2 for you to come through and lay a hook. I got the weed and the food.
So I look at it this way. There are certain people that I just fuck with because if I want to do it, I'll do it. There are certain people that they have done so much shit to me. When I pick up the phone, I'm like, yo, what you want? And they like, yo, oh, no. I said, you don't call me, you don't fuck with me, so what do you want?
Yeah, because it's obvious.
Right, so what do you want? But there are people that if they call me and they're like, yo, I need you to do this for free, whatever, I don't care, man. Yeah. Like, just give me my publishing, give me my points and all my shit. Here's my IPI number, go ahead and do your shit. It depends on what the feeling is and what I feel about you. The funny thing about, and you learned it the hard way, is that none of these motherfuckers love you.
What they do? They do just a poquito much. Maybe just a little smallest violin. You ever heard it? That's what it sounds like to me when people come with that shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just saying, give me what I give you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all. It's this thing. Yo, look, this is what I do. So we can hang out for free. I can hang out any rapper that I know for free. We can go shoot pool, go bowling. We can go, you know what I'm saying? Have whatever we want to do. We can do that free. But the minute you want me to turn the microphone on and run across the stage and take pictures and do, that's part of my business. That's what I get paid to do. So if you're not going to pay me respectfully, keep it pushing. If you're not coming to add on to what I'm doing and not just add on by what I got, because people will do that. People want to add on what you got. Yeah, I'm getting with Scoop. Yo, Scoop, let me make calls on your behalf. But what did you bring to the table? You just calling on my behalf. I already did the work. What are you bringing? You bring some keys and bring something to the table. Then I bring something to the table and we split it. Simple.
Right. But it doesn't work like that, bro. It just
doesn't.
I'm already getting a headache thinking about how this Is there anything else you want to add before you walk out the door, sir?
Okay, one thing I want to say, yo, shout out to everybody in the building. You know what I'm saying? Why everybody say building anyway? I don't understand that. But in the live, shout out to everybody in the live, man. I appreciate the love and support. Thank you. If you're not following me, please do follow me. Hit the link in my bio. That's on my bring you to the website. I'm streaming my own music there. So you can you can pay for a subscription to get Shyheim's whole catalog, the whole bottom up stuff that never was released on because it was CDs, it never was digital. So you might hear it on YouTube, but nobody has it. So I'm streaming it. It's available for download on my website. The memorabilia, because I like to say new artists got merch. You know what I'm saying? Legends, we got memorabilia. So I got some memorabilia up there for them.
All right,
the Boomer, boom.
Rock is on here, Boom is on here.
Oh, Rock's on here? Oh, I ain't even see. Oh, Mugga Man on here too, 1000.
Yep.
Yeah, nigga, that's my son though. Even though we go through arguments all the time, like, but I fuck with boy.
All right, all good. I will talk to you later, bro. God bless.
Yo,
Be safe.
love, thank you.
That's my man Shyheim right there.
Peace
the
to God.
rugged child.